Previously on NTD Films.
Oh!
Small cookies will do, I just wish there were some more packages. Hey, Pinocchio, look, I have a pencil in my pants.
That's so funny, Mickey.
We're homeschooling him, okay?
No.
What?
Like I said before, we are not homeschooling Mickey.
It was crucial for your safety that you're never let in on my line of work. Who says it's too late?
Hello everybody, welcome back to yet another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about an opinion that I have that is a little weird and a little random, and that opinion is basically that I don't like previously on segments. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, a previously on segment is when a TV show does a 1 minute recap of something that's happened previously on the show, and usually that's like something that's happened in the last episode, or maybe something that happened a couple episodes ago, and basically it's just like information that the show thinks you need to go into the next episode. And some people may like that because maybe if you haven't watched the episode in a while, you want a quick refresher or something. I don't know, you want to know what's happened in the show if you missed an episode or something, but I personally hate these things. So today I'm going to give you guys 3 reasons for this, and hopefully I'll be able to convince you guys to agree with my point here. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get into the points. So in my opinion, whenever I see a TV show do a previously on segment, it honestly feels like they're talking down to the audience. Because most of the time, like I said, a previously on segment will basically recap the last episode or the last couple of episodes. And when you see that, and just as a viewer of the TV show, I'm thinking, oh, so they don't think I remember the show. They think that I don't have the brain capacity to remember what happened literally 1 episode ago. And most of the time, you're watching an episode either a week later or like right after, because some shows that like release straight onto Netflix or other streaming services, sometimes the whole season is there right away, and they still have a previously on segment in the other episode, so like, I see no reason for it. If you're really invested in the show, you'll remember what's happened. Like honestly, to me, it just feels like they're talking down to us because they're like, hey, we don't think you're smart enough to remember what happened last episode. Here's the Spark Notes version of what happened last episode. Here you go. Get ready for this episode. And I don't know about you guys, but I personally don't like being felt like I'm being talked down to. I don't like feeling like I'm unintelligent or don't have a good memory or just any of that stuff. And yeah, I don't like feeling that way, and I get that feeling a lot of the time when I see previously on segments. So a counterpoint to this, I will give a counterpoint so that I'm not trying to be too subjective here. A counterpoint to this is if it's the sort of a new season in the show, or maybe they went on the Christmas break or whatever that some TV shows do like on actual television. I guess if you haven't seen the show in a couple of months it is between seasons, sometimes it's a couple of years even on streaming service shows. So I guess that kind of makes sense, like maybe you've forgotten it in a couple of months or in the year or so, but I still don't really think it's necessary. But to explain away this counterexample, I can actually get into my second point. So I think that 99% of the time, a previously on segment, while also being talked down to, is completely unnecessary. Because, like I said, you're usually watching a show either a week, sometimes even shorter, sometimes you're watching episodes back to back to back. You don't need a previously on segment. You don't need to be recapped on what happened in the last episode, because it's fresh in your brain. You already know what's happened in the last episode, and in the last couple of episodes. And going back to my counterexample from my last argument, the fact that maybe you haven't seen it in a couple of months or years between seasons, if you really care about the show, you're either A, going to remember what happened, or B, if you don't remember what happened, you've most likely either watched a YouTube video to like recap the season itself if you were worried about missing stuff from the last season, or you've just rewatched the season entirely. Because I know that I personally, if the second season for a show I watch has just come out and I haven't seen the first season in like a year or two, I'll watch the season again, or I'll watch someone's YouTube video where they recap the season. Because if I want to remember what happened in the last episode or season, I'll go out and do that myself. I don't need you guys to provide me like a 60-second recap. I can get someone else's outside opinion on it. And just, yeah, it just doesn't make sense because it's a segment of the show that is in the show, and just, it's such a small subsection of people that would A, forget the show, B, not want to forget what happened in the show, and C, not go out and look at that for themselves. So it's just such a small subset of people that need this previously on segment, that want this previously on segment, and I personally just think that it's a waste of the runtime. You can cut it down, get the runtime shorter, or maybe even incorporate another minute into the story. Either way, I just think it's unnecessary. So my final point, and in my opinion my most important point, is that previously on segments, for me personally, I believe that they spoil the episode. And I know what you guys might be thinking. Noah, it's a previously on segment. They're talking about stuff in the past, stuff that has already happened, stuff that you already know if you've seen the other episodes. You can't be mad about them spoiling that. But that's not what they spoil. They spoil what's going to happen in the upcoming episode. Because, just think about this. You're watching a show, and a previously on segment comes on. They're going to tell you what's important for the rest of the show. If they're doing a recap of a season, like the season prior, if it's a season 2, they're going to tell you all the stuff from season 1 that's going to be important for season 2. So now you already know what's going to be important in season 2. It takes out the mystery of, how are we carrying season 1 story forward into season 2? Well, now you already know, because the previously on segment has told you what's important. And they're not going to retell you something if it's not important to the season. Like, say a character dies, but it's not important for the second season, they're probably not going to put that on the previously on segment. But if a character dies and their death is important to the characters in the second season, that death is going to be on the previously on segment. So yeah, it just kind of spoils storylines. And even more than that, a problem I have with previously on segment spoiling stuff is if it gives you a very obscure detail from like, I don't know, 5-6 episodes ago, even a season ago, it ruins what's going to happen. So as an example, I'm watching Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated now. Great show, by the way, that I'm going to review eventually once I finish the show, but as it stands right now, I'm in the middle of the show, and in one of the episodes I just watched, in the previously on segment, they showed 2 characters that had been previously in the first season, but hadn't really been referred to since then. And the 2 characters showed up in the previously on segment, and now, instantly, I know these characters are going to be important to the show, these characters are going to be important in this episode, and I already know that they're going to be in it, and I'm not surprised when they show up. It's just, I like being surprised when I watch TV shows and movies. That's why, when I'm watching anything in the MCU, I don't look at theories online, I don't read the comics, I like to go into movies and TV shows blind. I don't like already knowing what happens. That takes out a lot of the enjoyment. I like a first watch of a show or movie to be blind. Like, obviously, if I go back and rewatch it, I know what's going to happen. Like, that's a whole different story. But my first time watching a show, I don't want to already know a lot of what's going to happen. I don't want to know all the minor characters that are going to come back and play a role in this episode. I don't want to know what storylines are already going to be happening before they happen. I don't like the shows getting spoiled, and I really feel like previously on segments, they spoil too much, they give away what's going to be important, and I don't like it. But yeah, anyways, that is the 3 points I have to talk about right now. Let me know if you guys agree with me, or if you didn't agree with me and now you do. Let me know also if you don't agree with me, tell me why you think previously on segments are good. Honestly, the only reason I can see a previously on segment being good is if A, you're forgetful enough to forget what happened in the last episode, B, you care about what happened in the last episode, and C, you care about what happened in the last episode, but you don't care enough to go and look at it. So yeah, that's the only person I feel like previously on segments are useful for. Besides that, I find them useless, I find them degrading, and I find them spoiler-filled. And yeah, that is all I have to say today, so I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I know it's a little weird, not usually what I do around here, but I wanted to talk about it, and I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like down below, subscribe if you're new around here. If you want more updates on all of my videos, make sure to check out my Instagram, ntd_films. Thank you guys all for watching, and have a good day.